This is Gary Clark, Onedb founder, and this is an overview video to give you an idea what Onedb is all about. I've done some much more detailed videos showing you how to actually use the software to create applications and enter data, etc. But hopefully this video should give you an understanding of what Onedb can do, which I think is very useful. Okay, so let's get started. What is Onedb? It's a business software platform. As I say, it's got batteries included, so it means we do everything you need to run your business on the Onedb platform. So it includes all the infrastructure, servers, storage, compute, etc. Because we in turn run it on a platform as a service such as Amazon Web Services. So it's much more reliable than trying to run it in your own data center or having your own servers. So what can you do with one of the main unique things about Onedb is we can build software literally 100 times faster than you can with traditional systems or traditional software tools like Java, .NET, etc. And I know it sounds like a fantastic claim, but for example, I built a complete ERP and CRM system within 3-4 years, and just on my own. Obviously, I had a little bit of help from our developers just to add features as I came across them. But somebody else could literally do it without writing any code. And if you compare that to, for example, Microsoft Dynamics, that's a company I'm very familiar with because I used to sell Dynamics in my previous company, which I sold. And they've got literally 300, 400, 500 developers spending 10 to 15 years developing Dynamics. And as one person, I did it in 3 years. So the other great thing about no code is literally anyone in the domain. So if you understand the domain, you can create great software. And it cuts down on that communication with the developer, back and forth, trial and error, and you get immediate feedback, which is the real benefit actually, which we found, which surprised me how beneficial this was, where you can just try something and then immediately see what the result is, because you create entities, relations, etc. very quickly, and then it automatically creates a user interface for you, and that's so amazingly beneficial because you can just see what the user interface is like, see what it's like to enter the data, see if it makes sense, and you can just keep changing it on the fly virtually. So it does result in actually better software than the traditional way where you send a spec to a developer and then you have to wait for them to come back and then you realize the spec was wrong or they misunderstood you, that kind of thing. So it's amazing the benefit of having this no code. And a lot of people are skeptical about no code. They think, it can only be very simple. Like you can create a nice screen, but there's no logic in the background or no proper database and relations, etc. With our system, we've done the other way around. We're coming from the back end. We're coming from the relational database, and then creating the user interface automatically. You can still change user interface easily, but we're more business orientated, more business logic orientated. So you actually can create incredibly powerful software with our system without, again, as I say, having to write code. So you create entities, you create relationships between the entities, you create powerful views, so you can literally extract any data from the system. You can create functions, reusable bits of logic and code. So you don't use code, but you use point and click to create them, which can be reused right throughout the system in views, in entities, for defaults, for calculated fields, that kind of thing. We've got a nice spreadsheet interface as well, so that's great for report writing and combining information. Got a powerful workflow engine, and if you want to do really sophisticated workflows, again, is point and click, drag and drop workflow designer. So you can do things like loops, iteration, if then else kind of logic, branching logic. You can do a simpler form of workflows through what we call linked transactions, which is incredibly surprisingly powerful. So one transaction, for example, a sales order, can kick off another transaction, for example, a sales invoice. It can be completely automatic, or you can say press a button if they want to review it. And that makes the system, automates the system, makes it much more efficient, makes users much more efficient. And as I said before, we automatically generate a powerful, really attractive user interface, graphical user interface. And even the standard user interface is really nice. But if you want to rearrange it, maybe make better use of the screen space, we take advantage of this fantastic technology called CSS Grid, which it's been around a good few years now, and all the browsers support it. But it's really nice for rearranging fields on the screen, basically. So, and it makes it it's literally drag and drop. So you can say, I want this date there, this value there, this lookup there. So arrange it just how you like. And then we do have a code option, so you can code in SQL if you want, SQL. I actually love SQL, so I quite enjoy using it. Sometimes for me, I find it faster than the point and click, and it does give you the ultimate power. So if there is something missing, you can contact say, oh, we need this, and we'll do it. But as a fallback, there's always the option to actually write SQL. And that SQL is incredible. It's so powerful. It's got things like windows functions, aggregates, etc. So it's amazing what you can do with SQL. It's a nice declarative functional language. So it's great for business logic and data manipulation, summarization, views, etc. So we cover the whole range, as I said before, applications. You can build nice websites with our system, including customer-facing websites, or internal applications, they're called portals typically. E-commerce would be external public-facing websites. It's great for just doing things like data capture. So, for example, you want to say you're a finance broker and you want to capture information such as loan and personal finance details, and you're a finance broker. A lot of them, they'll send out a PDF form, which is ridiculous in this day and age. With our system, you could literally create a data capture form, a web form for them, and get the data into the database, and the user's much happier because they can copy and paste information rather than have to write it out by hand and scan it and send it, etc. And you could create that kind of application in literally a couple of hours, and it'd be so much benefit for that kind of business. So it just gives you an idea of the benefit of this system. We do actually include, as I said before, I created ERP and CRM, so we include that with this system as an option. Again, much cheaper than Dynamics or Salesforce or companies like that, but similar level of capability and much easier to customize. And the nice thing as well is it's naturally integrated. So in my previous company, you used to charge a fortune to integrate ERP and CRM, even though it came from the same company, Microsoft. They were actually completely separate systems. But we used to have to spend, our customers used to have to spend a lot of money trying to integrate them. We do CMS, content management system, as well. So that's like a WordPress equivalent. So it's good for if you want to publish your own website using a database backend. Our system is great for that as well. And it's literally suitable for any kind of business, any size of business. So say you're a startup, you've got some great business idea. you can use our platform to get your minimal MVP, they call it, minimum viable product, going literally within weeks, compared to the traditional way, which, as I said before, would be 100 times take 100 times longer. So you could prove your product very quickly and see if you got product market fit. It's great for any size business, so it'll be great for a large company, say a departmental solution. You could just get a free trial, try out our system. It's got a cheap monthly rental subscription, so maybe you wouldn't even have to bother going through your IT department, for example, if you want to get a departmental solution going up and quickly to improve efficiency, improve data management, etc. So why use Onedb? As I said before, immediate, very fast development, immediate gratification. So just summarizing a bit here. Efficiency, automation, workflows, integration. We've even got AI plugins. Complete, comprehensive, integrated ERP CRM functionality. One database, one source, one truth. Low cost, low maintenance, so it's low cost to develop and it's low cost to run, and low maintenance, and it's low risk because you don't have to worry about backups and security and all that kind of thing. You got the relational database. I'm a big believer in relational databases, and they give you tremendous benefits such as integrity, data constraints, insight. It's much easier to extract information from a relational database than it is from a graph database or hierarchical database, for example, and to see patterns between your data. Convenience runs on any because it's web access. You can literally run it anywhere. It's surprisingly good on mobiles as well, because we're using the latest PWA technology. So it runs well on mobile as well. Just give you a quick view now of some of the components within the system. So I've got other videos which show how to actually use this software, but so this is just a screenshot, just to give you a quick flavour. So yeah, we've got Entity Designer. So everything's based on entities. So for example, customer, supplier, general ledger account, invoice, they're all separate entities, and then you relate them to each other. And for each entity, you can have unlimited fields, components, things like values, things like relations, defaults, calculated fields, filters based on the context, for example. So then we've got views and functions, and again point and click, so you can relate any data to each other very easily. It'll automatically find common fields, so it'll automatically suggest joins for you. So that's like a relational database. You can have an inner join, outer join. So it's very easy to combine information. Then you just point and click and say which fields you want to come in your final view, final report. As I mentioned before, we've got the linked transactions. So one transaction kicks off another transaction. Another good example is purchase invoice, automatically creating all of your depreciation entries, for example, into the future as well for an asset purchase. This is the workflow designer I mentioned. I mean, a good example here might be we've got, for example, in our service module, you could put a workflow deciding based on the severity and the kind of issue somebody's reported, which person the case gets assigned to or which team it goes to. So that'd be a good example of a workflow designer. Widget designer. So the system comes with hundreds of ready-made widgets like date pickers, like grids, like filters, etc. But if there's one missing, you can add new ones in from web components, or you can build your own, again with point and click. And you can also use it for building web pages. So for example, our web page is an example there. Part of our website was built using this widget designer. So that's a really nice graphical user interface designer. Comes with the comprehensive ERP, CRM. So that's out of the box, ready made, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And as I said before, it's all fully integrated. Got the spreadsheet interface as well, so people love spreadsheets, so it's great to have that as well as a way, another way to combine information, report information. You can even use it for entering information, but we don't actually recommend entering via the spreadsheet because it's better to use the forms that come with the entities build, because they've got all the data integrity checks, for example. Pricing, again, this is all on our website. Just give you a quick flavour. So it's $89. The platform price is per organisation, per month. Then if you want the ERP, the CRM, that's also per organisation, and the CMS. Then we've got a per user price. So it's £69 for a power user, $29 for a light user. So a power user would be somebody who builds apps and customizes apps. A light user would be somebody who just enters data on the system. So, accounting, invoicing, that kind of thing. Whereas maybe the accountant would be a power user. A few managers might be power users. So they can build their own views and reports. But once it's built, then the light users can use whatever they've built. So you don't need, loads of power users. You need mainly light users. So this pricing is way cheaper than, for example, Microsoft Dynamics or Salesforce, and yet it's much more customizable. And it includes all these no-code tools I'll be talking about. So I think it's a very attractive value proposition if you think about compared to developing applications with external developers, where you can easily run up bills of tens of thousands within a few weeks. And you can, as I said before, you can literally build working software just within a few hours. Just quick recap on the story, how we got here. Formed the company in 2017. So there's over 120,000 hours have gone into it and umpteen millions of pounds. I funded the majority of it based on selling my previous company, and I've been fortunate to have some friends and family, wealthy investors who've also put in substantial amounts. So that's been very welcome, including recently Johan, and he's quite actively involved in the company as well, and he's proven a great help in getting sales, etc. So we've finished our product development. We've already got some very happy launch customers giving great references, and now we're just ready to do a global rollout. So that's a quick overview of Onedb. If you need more information, obviously go to the website. Got extensive documentation, more videos. You can do a free trial, no credit card required. And we can assist you. Obviously, you can look at the documentation, the video, but if you get stuck, don't hesitate, contact us and we'll walk you through and give you a little bit of free training within the free trial. Because we don't want you to be put off just because maybe there's some concepts that you need to grasp, like entities, relations, for example. Once you grasp those, you'd be amazed how powerful the system is, but there might be just a bit of a learning curve to get going. Of course, become a customer, low cost, minimal obligation. So we only ask for 3 months' notice if you want to terminate a number of users or terminate the system. Just a little bit of notice so that we can flex our requirements with Amazon and people like that, where we have to give a bit of notice and because sometimes we commit to longer term infrastructure. If you want to become a partner, you're very welcome. It takes a bit of commitment, a bit of training, etc., and you have to sign a contract. But we do offer very good benefits for being a partner, like margin on recurring revenue. Obviously, you can charge consulting fees as well. You can develop your own vertical applications on our system, and you keep the intellectual property for that. And that comes on to Onedb Store, which we'll be launching soon, where partners can sell their vertical apps on our store. That's it. Thank you very much.